Remember the UFC, the last one with Frank Mir? Yeah. Almeida hit it on his guy, and I think Sylvia got choked out with the arm in guillotine. And it's always like the arm in guillotine never supposed to work, right? But even Almeida goes, he actually said, if you want to learn the arm in guillotine, come down to my academy. So he actually specifically said that, hey, what is that move? Why is it working? So it's actually arm in or arm out. It's the way I'm hitting it, all right? The old school way of, just tightening this up as much as possible. The defense for this is very simple, which is instead of pulling out, you're just going to push through almost. You can even go over the top. Yeah, so he's kind of pushing through. That's how, I don't care how strong I am. I can't finish him right here, and I'm 100 pounds bigger, I can try, but it's not going to work. So this old school way of cranking a guillotine doesn't work anymore, all right? But there are some variations, which is, that's what I like to do about that. They really defend it. But we're going to do, and this doesn't matter, arm in or arm out. So let's pretend he's shooting or whatnot. No, we have to arm in, right? Never used to work. I really don't care, because it's going to start working here. What I want to do is I want this actually, instead of the old school, you get as deep as you could. I want it shallow. I want my little blade, my little wrist bone, all the way to like this knuckle is my blade. I find the sweet spot right there, all right? And then I'm going to come under and just grab, just like that. And I'm actually it's going to create like a gooseneck effect, all right? So I'm going to here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch down it, and as we're hitting the ground, now notice, I am not in a full guard. In fact, even if I am in a full guard, I don't like to be straight ahead. I like to create an angle on it, and what's going to happen, I'm going to actually twist his neck a little bit, and that's what's causing this submission, all right? And even though the arm is in, I'm going to create enough pressure on that blood to choke him out, all right? But there's a reason why. The reason why is instead of going deep, I'm actually pinching his head like this, all right? You've seen the good chokes nowadays. The head is going to the ground, and now all I have to do is get a little pressure, because, just do it to yourself right now, right? It's hard to even talk. So now imagine like a guillotine in there, and then, that's why it's choking people out now. So normally he wants to defend high. What I'm going to do, I'm actually go shallow, and I'm going to gooseneck it and pinch down on the head and stay over the top of it. Now, as we hit the ground, my elbow is going to go to the ground, and I'm going to actually, see how I'm like almost have an angle on it. That's great, because I want his head into the ground, and I want to be curled up on top, and this leg is going to flip up on top. Is that a blood choke? No? Hurt the esophagus? He's a little smaller guy too, so it's tough. But we're creating here. That a little nicer? Alright. That's the thing. When they're really small, it's even more, I have to be a little more precise. But the key to it is that little crank where his head totally cranked to the ground. And now obviously the arm is in. If I can choke out a guy with the arm in, there goes all the old school rules. And the key is, because I'm not doing the old school, I'm doing the new school, which is pinching that head down. Alright? So, the little details once again. Now imagine we're just going to skip all the takedown. And obviously you can hit this mid-match too, like I'm sitting up. What I want to do is I want to be shallow on the neck, not deep. In fact, some people actually grip the chin like this a little bit. But I want to find that sweet spot, not the esophagus, but right about here, and I want to jam my hand into there, alright? Now, even if I get the esophagus, I don't care, obviously submission means a submission. But what I want to do is pinch down, and I want to put my elbow in the top of his head to the mat. So I'm going to kind of fall down and actually kind of create a sideways angle so that we can hit there. So look at his head face down on the mat, my elbow is on the mat, but I'm also doing like a little bit of a curl. I don't want to see like this is what he'll do, so he can pop his head up. Like that. So I want to keep that curl in my body as I hit so he can't pop out. Alright? Now this, it's either half guard, doesn't matter. I'm just kind of going to create that angle. Alright? Blood? Alright, that's the thing. Sometimes you'll get the esophagus still, but I want the blood choke. I want all my chokes to be nice, technical, Now, he's small, so if I can get it on him, imagine a guy with a bigger neck, it's even easier to find that sweet spot. Nope. So what I'm doing is I'm creating the angle, almost falling to his side. So my elbow's down, his head's down, and he's really bent over like that. Leg comes up, gets the hip in, but I'm keeping my body curled over the top of his head so he can't pop his head up. And I'm just going to squeeze and it's going to do the magic. Now I can do it with the arm in, it's even easier. So if I can do it with the arm in or arm out, it doesn't matter. It's the same idea. With the arm out this time, it's the same philosophy. See, I'm looking for the ground, I should touch it. Just like that. Alright, and so, give that a try. Once again, you know, Greg's got it way smaller than me. Actually, the little guys are tougher to choke for me because I'm just so big. It's so hard for me to close that extra area on a little guy. It's hard to find a sweet spot. So the only guy I can't get with this is Omar. Same with that north-south choke we just did. The guy's just so small. I'm so long compared to a 130-pound guy that I gotta, you know, create all these little extra angles to kind of try to finish him off. So it's actually harder to choke on small people than little big necks. If I can grab a big neck, crank it down, he's toast. All right. So good enough.
I have a question. What's the problem with the old school from that position?
The problem with the old school is that it's easily defendable. We'll push through it. All right. So we get in here and this is actually, so we hit here. Here's the old school. What he's going to do? Instead of pushing through it, instead of head, he's actually going to choke me a little bit here. All right. He's pushing his head through, and I don't care how strong I am, I can't hit the choke anymore. So instead of letting him pop his head up, I'm going to shallow it up. So now he can't pop. See a little difference? Instead of being deep, I'm actually going to shallow it up, shut the door. Right? Now he can't pop out. In fact, his defense now would be to come out the other way. Now how I defend that is staying over the top of it, a little shift in my hips sideways, and we got the choke. So a little difference in philosophy. Now occasionally I do hit the old school choke. Just end up there and crank it away. But in fact, I actually switched to that one I did before if I go old school. But I still teach the new people the old school so they understand, you know, how to choke, basics and stuff. And on the street, no one's gonna defend the old, you know, like that. So it's kind of the guillotine. You notice UFC is kind of been revamped a little bit. They're creating that angle. They're very rarely flat. They're creating an angle. And you see it even on the Gare when you hit down to Sylvie, kind of almost fell to the side and just like cranking like that. So, give that a try. And once again, touch, just doing this 1,000 times, you know, over and over and over, hitting in practice. You might not hit it right away, but slowly, you'll find that sweet spot. When I feel that sweet spot, I just sit down and I got it. See how that little goose neck? When I know it, I lock it down, I hit it. And I got this in my fight just this weekend. And he actually fought it for a very, very long time. But his neck, he was literally like this. You see his neck straining. And he held off for about 30 seconds, but